Well, boy, do we have a special garden tour for you today. We are down at the Myriad Gardens in downtown Oklahoma City, specifically in the children's area, the children's garden. I am here with my new best friend, Kaitlin Bacon. What's your official title, Kaitlin?
Children's garden manager.
Children's garden manager. Okay, Stuart, I'm going to ask you to just do a pan. We're going to definitely get into the gardens. But if you have not been here, it is absolutely marvelous. There's a carousel over here. And Kaitlin, you said that opens at 11. Yes. And then there is a water park here. And all of this, by the way, all of this is free. And it is just off of Reno in downtown Oklahoma City, just in the shadow of the Devon Tower. And can I just say that I feel like a kid again.
You feel like it when you're in here.
Oh my gosh. And there is no shortage of enthusiasm when it comes to Kaitlin. So we're going to try to move kind of fast here. We're going to go through a double arbor. You can see this premier one, and then there's a secondary one. And what is this climbing on here?
This is our crossvine. It's a native here, really popular with pollinators, and it's we love it in the spring when it starts blooming, and sometimes in the fall it smells like pancakes. We have kids running through here telling us that it smells like waffles.
The pancake plant. And you say, I did not realize crossvine was a native. And does it die back and then come back again, or is it an annual? I can't remember.
So it stays pretty green. I cut it back when we had that ice storm come through and it got really, really cold. I went ahead and cut it back all the way, and it came back and it's flushed out in just a year and a half to this.
Oh my gosh, so to completely cover it. Stuart, if you don't mind showing how it is supported, because you've got lots of climbers here in the children's garden, and they need good support.
Yep. Yes, definitely.
And the flowers on crossvine are red?
Yeah, like a rusty red.
A rusty red. And then talk about grand entrance and framing the view, Stuart. Isn't this just really, really wonderful to what would, if you were a kid, would just be so titillating to just see a piece of play equipment in the future.
They just go when you right
yeah, in your future. And it is just I'm almost speechless because it is just so fun. Stuart, we need to come up here, just the two of us, and play. So on this surround, first of all, there is a wonderful play area over here. And I guess you can you go in that tented area?
So in our tower is currently down.
Okay.
We've got it completely wrapped just for repairs. We've got some structural things that we're working on in there, but usually, yes, they can go up in that.
But the rest of this is still open.
Yes.
I look at this. This would be a darling idea in a school garden or something. The sun is not yellow; it's orange. Don't listen to orange. The sun is clearly yellow. It's just clever.
Yeah, all of these things. So we just recently finished up our Children's Garden Festival, which was a 10-day festival. It's one of our 2 fundraisers of the year. This year was A is for Art, and one of the books we featured was The Day the Crayons Quit, when they all tell their little human why they're going on strike. And we decked the entire gardens out in this art theme.
Well, it is adorable. It is, and black. I'm tired of drawing outlines.
We have a bunch of them around. Our play equipment is it's ADA accessible. We got a grant in 2017, I believe.
Wow.
Where it's wheelchair accessible, so they're multi-accessible.
And you told me, obviously this is all organic. Everything here is organic, and almost everything here is probably intended to attract pollinators.
Yes.
This canopy of shade, I'm so glad it's still here and didn't suffer a lot of damage.
It took a beating. It really did. Back when we had that ice storm in October of 2020, but we worked really hard at trying to very selectively prune what we could to save what we couldn't. And all in all, we only lost 2 trees in the children's garden completely from that.
And what variety of oak are these?
So we've got our Shumard oaks here, and
Are any of them? Yeah, they.
we've got our sawtooth oak over in the corner.
Okay. And I think this is a Shumard is what I've got 100-year-old Shumard in my front yard, and it
Wonderful.
really took a beating. Stuart, would you mind showing that tunnel from this perspective so you can see that there's openings through it, which gives lots of air circulation and a really wonderful breeze. Now, Kaitlin, could you talk about this area in here?
Sure. So this area we've got, this is just kind of our color area. We've got our boxwoods here that kind of, we want it to look like it's a circular entry. We call this the four corners. Our big goal here is to make it just as colorful as possible to really draw the kids in, see the plants. We've kind of experimented a little bit where we had 2 trees that we lost, and so the shade to sun ratios have been varying as the canopy has been refilling. But it's one that we've just really enjoyed putting color in and really focusing on the shape and the bright colors on this entryway.
The shape, and so so your circle is still complete, and you have good symmetry here.
Yeah.
Which is nice to point out that after you have a disaster in the garden, you can still recover it from it. I see a large hydrangea over here. Do you know what variety?
So we have our limelight panicle hydrangeas out here. Is a huge amount of the ones we have. A lot of panicle hydrangeas. We have a couple oak leaf as well.
That bloom on new wood. Now, please show us this.
This is one of our, so this is a hardy hibiscus. Wow. This is one of our, I believe, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure this is called the peppermint schnapps. So a hardy hibiscus, they're really cool. They're hardy. They die back to the ground as a perennial each year and come right back up. So unlike your tropical hibiscus, you don't have to take them inside to survive in the winter.
And how beautiful is this? So you've got a backdrop of, are those laurels?
Mm-hmm. Yes, ma'am.
Are they Carolina laurels?
So these are the cherry laurels.
Cherry laurels,
yeah.
Okay. And you can see through here, and look at how beautiful that bald cypress, I guess. Is that a bald cypress? What is this tree right here?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah.
Cypress here.
I love the way it captures the light. So, obviously for the kiddos, you've really thought about giving them a protected, shady area to play.
Yeah, we really want it to be, we try a lot of, our playground area is a whole lot of shade, and we do that intentionally so that they've got that protected area. When you move out into the garden, you'll see more variety in sun versus shade for exploration, but it definitely comes back to this little haven.
I love this sweet little peach tree you have here, and I love the way you've got it kind of pruned up. And what's growing on the fence?
We've got a grape, so it's a seedless grape.
Okay.
We've got a lot of grapes on it right now. So it grows, we've got 3 canes on the ground, and the rest of it is just the sprawl.
And does it produce, or is that too shady over there?
It actually produces really pretty well. We've got a whole bunch of clusters of grapes on it right now.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it gets...
Probably would want to see that. Let's go look.
Okay. I was just...
I can hear everybody going,
I know.
go
Go over there and look at the grapes. Do you know what variety this grape is?
So it's a seedless grape.
Stay close to her, Linda.
Okay, yeah. Let me stay close to you so people can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, and over this, a lot of these are our fruit trees and everything. We call this our fruits and roots area.
Fruits and roots, cute.
There's some of our grapes. There's some of them.
Oh my gosh. What a fun surprise for a child to see that.
And they taste really good when they...
And everything is just so beautifully maintained. Now, just as a point of reference, it's still a little bit early here. So the kiddos are probably just starting to arrive. Okay, Stuart, I'm sorry. I just have to show the vistas here. Beyond the carousel, look at all of the blooming perennials, the purple and yellow over there. It is an incredible downtown space, and I think we're all so proud of our downtown
Oh yeah.
because it is just amazing. If you are an out-of-town visitor or a tourist, you definitely need to come. You definitely need to come downtown. Stuart, wouldn't you like to take a spin on that?
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah, it looks fun. I want to do all of this. Okay, and what is this tiny, sweet little house over here?
So right over here, this is our music maze. We put in, it used to be inkberries, and we transitioned
Inkberry
it
hollies?
to, I'm sorry?
Inkberry hollies?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And we transitioned it to Rose of Sharon. We've got two different kinds. We've got the larger Lady Sannulate on the outside to create that border, that boundary, so it's secluded. And then we put the little Kim lining it so that when you walk into the maze, you kind of have to walk your way through to get into the house. We do have some cheater paths
Yeah.
that have found their ways in.
Close to her.
Yeah, stay close to me,
Okay.
Kaitlin. This is adorable, and these are so tough. And boy, that's a tip. Look at these tough plants, and they have so many buds on them. So if you want something, I can't imagine what this looks like when it's all in bloom.
It's amazing. And in September, it was really last September, back in this corner especially, it was just protected enough with a little bit of shade. Hundreds of monarchs all over these, between the Abelia on the other side of this and all of this Rose of Sharon, they were going nuts.
Wow.
Migration.
Stuart, we definitely need to come back here and get a peek at this when everything is in bloom. And it's not because
Yeah.
I want to be a kid again.
You can be.
Yeah.
Hop right in. We've got in here, so the floor, it's kind of hard to tell from here, but it's the chromatic scale there where they can pop music and make noise and music in there, as well as a storyboard that complemented in our festival. So, yeah! I used to know Twinkle Twinkle Little Star by memory, and I don't think I can do it anymore.
I've always said I could play Twinkle Twinkle Little Star on anything, including 3 glasses.
Because Stuart, you're a musician.
And so yeah, and this was our storyboard that we had. We did Aaron Slater, Illustrator was another book we did featuring Aaron Slater's dyslexic, and he has a hard time, so he tells his story largely through gardens. He loves gardening and plant life and everything, but instead of, he can't write or speak or write or read very well because of the dyslexia.
Yeah.
So he tells it through imagery in the garden and illustrating.
Look, there's just little surprises everywhere. And again, I cannot say enough times, this is all free.
Yes, it's
This
all
is
free.
all free. Well, let's get out of this maze.
Well, and I had a thought too. There's probably enough stuff on the other side to kind of continue out this in one video and do the other side in another video.
In a whole nother video? Okay. Well, we're trying, I haven't been here for a while, and we're trying to really capture the scope of it and all there is to do and spread it out, because it is just incredibly amazing. And the other thing is it's so beautifully maintained.
I have a lot of fun out here. It's kind of hard to say that sometimes you manage to land your dream job, but
Right.
I kind of feel like that's where I am with this.
I think we feel the same.
Yeah, we feel the same way, and this is just so wonderful. Tell me this variety again.
This is the Lil Kim.
Little Kim.
It does really well. It tops out at about 5 feet. It stays pretty well maintained. I hedged it for the first time this year. Otherwise, I've just been letting it grow. So it does really well.
Boy, if you need a wonderful hedge plant that blooms, now it's not evergreen,
No, it does drop its leaves in the winter.
but you said this whole area is just filled with monarchs. So as a pollinator, boy, great plant. If I had more space, I would be introducing lots of those.
Yeah, they work really well in narrow beds. You can see how narrow this bed is, and they haven't been a problem with keeping to their boundaries.
If you were starting a new garden, definitely I would visit gardens like this, because if you kind of know, oh, I want to hedge someplace, or I want this certain color palette or here, you know, in one place or another, then community gardens like this are wonderful because they show plants that are really, really tough and typically are organically grown and relatively easy to maintain.
Mm-hmm. We have plant tours every second Friday and last Saturday of the month to feature different, you know, one month might be xeriscaping, another might be shade specific, things like that. And our horticulturists lead that so that we're on site to provide information and everything.
But definitely a lens through which to look at all of these garden spaces is, from a design standpoint, but also if you want some ideas for, okay, what works really well in the shade?
Yeah.
What works really well in the sun? Obviously, this is a very sunny area. And this reminds me of Marie Antoinette's little garden at Versailles, where she had her own little play garden.
We kind of joke that we buy plants, try them out, and if they fail, we've tried it so you don't have to.
Yep.
So come on out. And
That is, and it just goes to show that even professional gardeners and things, it's trial and
Oh,
error.
absolutely.
What do we have here?
So we've got our monkey grass here, and these were actually 3 crepe myrtle trees that these were, this one was one of our victims of the 2020
Of the
ice
Arctic
storm.
blast.
Yeah. And then these ones were in steady decline. We are currently kind of bushing them out. This is an experiment in works right now, seeing what they're going to do before we make our final decision on what we want to do with them. They were white crepe myrtles. They were really pretty.
Yeah, Natchez, maybe? Natchez
Yes,
crepe myrtles. And that was a real tragedy, not only in Oklahoma, but all through the South that experienced that Arctic blast. At least they didn't die, but they're no longer small trees.
Giant, yeah.
Look, it's just little things like this that are so delightful, and the clever little signs. So are you the one that comes up with the ideas for these?
Yeah, so I've been working on making these signs. These are one of my little pet projects here. I've been learning from my boss, who he is amazing at interpretation and everything, and so I've been learning from him and kind of spreading my wings on that. You should definitely rub the leaves and smell them. Tell me if it smells like popcorn.
Oh, I can smell it. And not only, Stuart, you've got to smell this.
I'll give it a whirl.
Here, wait.
This is how I smell things. It's really, yeah, popcorn.
And not only popcorn, it's buttered popcorn.
Yeah, it is
Popcorn.
buttered popcorn. Yeah. Smells
Wow.
like the jelly belly.
Yeah.
Yeah, the little jelly bean.
Boy, I mean exactly like popcorn.
Yeah.
And what is it again?
This is the popcorn plant.
It's
So
literally called the popcorn.
Popcorn
it is.
plant.
It's in the senna it's a senna plant.
Okay, cool.
In the pea family.
Yeah, we try really hard to. One of my big goals in the children's garden is to have a multi-sensory experience, because I feel like kids remember plants better when they experience them from multiple fronts.
senses.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So
True of everything.
experiential. And is that an annual or a perennial?
It is a tropical.
It's a
It
tropical.
acts as an annual here.
Okay,
So
well,
I have
it's-
to take that in.
Yeah. And all of this.
This is my painter's palette, knotweed. It's been amazing. I love the colors on it. It comes back really faithfully each year and just keeps doing better and better.
And I'm continue to be astonished. I don't see holes in the leaves or anything, and you're doing all of this organically. That is just incredible. Tell us about this.
So this is one of our comfreys. Our comfreys are doing really well here. I love it for, again, that multi-sensory, how fuzzy the leaves are, and the
Yeah.
flowers are really pretty in spring.
And all the plants are marked. And I love the fact that it tells you its area of origin. And this is doing well in shade.
Well, it does really well. I have another planting over on the other side that I put in. This one's several years old, this planting. I have one on the other side that's just about 2 years old, and it's blown me away by how fast it's grown.
And this comes back.
This comes back every year, yeah.
And this,
So this is our arrowwood viburnum here. It's a really pretty, it does really well. Gorgeous shape.
Boy, am I getting ideas for my next garden, Stuart. Oh my gosh, I've become a real new, well, I've always loved viburnums, but the family is so extensive, and there are so, look at the berries on these. Will these turn that beautiful
The blue color. Mm-hmm.
Very popular in wedding bouquets
Yes.
right now. And this is one of those perfect kind of trees, you guys, that you could prune up and then you're able to plant underneath them, and it gives this wonderful form. And this is growing in some shade.
Yeah, it's really enjoyed. I think it's done the best in where it's got just that dappled sun coming through to it.
Don't we all want that?
Yeah,
Dappled shade, high dappled shade.
A little bit of sun.
We all want it. And you've used this on the entire surround. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So just planting large spaces planted in moss. Really, really beautiful. And we've got some Acuba japonica over here.
And our Cuba is bouncing back slowly from it when we had that huge cold front that came in
Yes.
a couple of years ago. It knocked it back really hard. It used to be really flush. It's getting back to there.
Yeah,
just a slow
mine
work
did
in progress.
this. Mine did the same thing. Is this a weeping redbud?
Uh-huh. We've got, this is like our little red bud corner over here that we've got. He is very fountainy.
Almost like a weeping mulberry. And how now are the kids allowed to get back in there and get underneath there? or-
They can. For the most part, the boundaries, we try to encourage, so we always have to, kids will get back there in
Right.
any place that we want.
Yeah.
And in certain ways we want that. We try to be mindful of what we plant so that they're hardy for
They're tough.
people. Yeah, kids coming in. So we've got, they can go back in this area. You can kind of see an area where they have.
Yeah.
Um,
Because it would
But,
be
yeah.
so tempting to get right
Get
up
right
underneath
in
it.
there.
Is this cast iron plant?
It is, yeah. It's been coming back every year. When we have really cold fronts come through, it kind of you can see kind of where some of that old leaves are. But
And this is a beautiful native grass. What is this?
this is chasmanthium. It's our sea oats, or our northern sea oats, I should say. And so you can kind of see here's like one of our corner where we get a little bit of wear and tear from kids
Yeah.
running through.
And you can also see this is a pretty rampant spreader.
Yes.
And it's one of those things I would probably grow in a pot if I were growing it, but it's so beautiful, and in the fall it makes great cut.
It is. It's gorgeous. It's one of
Cutting
my.
material.
We do floral arrangement classes here, and chasmanthium is one of the top ones. But it is very much. You have to get on it really early. It does spread around the garden, and if you don't get to it early, it puts down roots that are kind of hard to get up.
And this ground cover here.
We've got our a chorus, however
Yeah.
you
pronounce
wish
that.
to pronounce it. A chorus.
Yes.
Acarus is another one I've heard.
Is this a hydrangea?
This is one of our limelight panicle hydrangeas here.
Boy, the way everything is pruned so beautifully that it doesn't flop, and limelight's better about that than some other ones.
Yeah.
We could probably end it this again here.
Okay, let's end right here. And Stuart, can we go back with a scope so you can kind of see where we came in and what other treasures there are to plant? I love the layering here, and I also love the fact that the outside layer is the same. It's all of these wonderful bald cypress, which are really tough, make great street trees, and are beautiful, and then the oaks, which do so well here.
Yeah, we've got our oaks. Our three trees mainly. We've got our oaks, we've got our plane trees, and we've got our bald cypress.
Well, this is pretty incredible. So Stuart, let's just end on this note and titillate people to see what is left to come.
What's cool is they can't see it at all.
You can't see, yeah, you kind of can't see it at all.
It's
Stuart,
really the gardener side.
if we were, it's just the two of us, we were here, Stuart would be running up and down these little hills and everything, wouldn't you, Stuart? I could so see, I could
Camera goes
so,
off, go running.
yeah, go running, go see him.
We do not just get kids in this garden. We have adults who come in without kids very regularly.
Well, and it feels so calm and such a lovely breeze. And on a day where it's really, really hot, boy, if you were a jogger, I'd be jogging right
Yeah.
through here. Guys, again, if you have not been here, you definitely need to come. Kaitlin, thank you so much. Can we now do another video in the other area?
Absolutely.
Okay, that's wonderful.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.